Welcome back to another episode of Barstools and Billboards podcast. With me here's a special guest by the name of Dustin Devine. Dustin, how are you tonight?
I'm doing really good, Scholar. Thank you. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So, Dustin, we'll go right to the very beginning of where you found your love for country music and where you decided you wanted to do this for a living. So, let's go way back to the Oklahoma state.
Mm-hmm. Well, how much time you got?
I got about 15 minutes.
This could be a long and winding road, but anyhow, yeah, I was born and raised in western Oklahoma, in a little place that, well, I thought it was a big city at the time, but a town called Weatherford. It's out there right off of Interstate 40. And, some of my earliest memories that I have are of country music and listening to them old LP records and things like that played around the house. My mom was a music lover and a singer, and had a fondness for country music too. And so I guess I come by it honest that way. But anyway, some of my earliest memories. Remember, laying in bed as a toddler and hearing Hank Williams' greatest hits run out for side A and need to be flipped over to side B, and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, just always drawn to the sounds and the emotion in the sounds, I guess, long before I could understand the lyrics or what they meant. I thought cheating was taking an extra turn at Candyland or something, but yeah, I still read the music resonated with me on account of I guess the emotion that was being conveyed through the sounds. That I didn't care what he was saying. I didn't know, but I knew he meant it, or she meant it, and that was compelling to me. And I don't know, move along, listen to music, listen to records. And my mom sang at jamborees and regional things, and ever since I was old enough to do, to talk and walk at the same time, I want to sing. I always wanted to sing and do a song, and sometimes I'd get to, and more often than so I would not get to. And but anyhow, I just always was just always drawn to the music. And I don't know, I was probably 7, 8 years old, and climbed in the front seat of my old man's pickup, and there was a Hank Williams Jr. cassette laying there, and it was The Pressure Is On. He ran in the house or something. I threw that thing in there in the player and turned it on, got to listening. And man, that thing hit me like a sonic sledgehammer. It was just, it was life changing for me. I started digging into that sound and fell in love with his stuff. And I don't know what my first concert I ever got to go to was I was 11 years old, and it's a Hank Jr. concert, and had his opening act was a man from the West Coast named Dwight Yoakam, and I left there with a fan of him, as well as a bigger fan of Hank Jr. And I don't know, man, I just listened to it all the time, and never. Started playing guitar when I was 12 years old. When I got a guitar, I wanted a drum kit, and had a skateboard. I got thinking, man, I bet you I could swap this skateboard for an instrument, give me some drums. And had kind of kicking around the neighborhood and pawn shops and this and that, trying to get these guys to, give me some drums. And I found one sucker, I guess, and he swapped me a harmony guitar for it. And I thought, well, I can take the guitar and turn that into drums because it's at least a musical instrument, And long story short, I didn't own a set of drums until I was well out of my house, until I got that accomplished. But I got the guitar, and that kind of set me on my way with that, and just love country music. Always listened to it around the house, in the car, wherever I was at, and all through my high school years and whatnot. And I don't know, got into the 2000s, and I don't know, started kind of losing some of my affinity for it, I guess. Uh, so I started going back and digging in the old stuff and started digging up all those old Merle Haggard records and George Jones records and listening to a lot of stuff that wasn't being played on the radio. Became a Bill Watson fan, and that's kind of just kind of led me one way or another to where I am today. Writing songs is something I've always aspired to do. And I don't know, I was in my early 40s when I learned that trying to write songs and writing songs is the same thing. So another aha moment, I guess.
Yes, sir. So I learned just recently that you had a charted song. I believe I seen you posted it somewhere on, I think,
Yeah.
TikTok or something like that.
Yeah. So that's my single that's out. Came out earlier this year. It's kind of, I guess it's my debut single, I guess is what they call that. But it's the first record that I wrote, released. And I had some music released before, and I've sang on people's compilation albums for friends and family and things like that. And I had a little old band that is a good band, and we done some kind of edgy country stuff, a lot of original material here in Denver in the early 20, let's see, probably 2015 up to 17, 18, somewhere in there. And this is we was all musicians in this band. And the testament to that is that the band broke up because nobody wanted to do the booking. So we stuck a fork in that. But aside from that, stuff like that and different recordings here and there and an album and I kind of redirected kind of got a little bit more laser focused, I guess, and in my let's just say waist deep in my 40s, and said, hey, you know what? I ain't gonna look at them in the mirror the rest of my life and cuss the figure that I see there because he didn't, go after what he truly loves, and I just wasn't going to do it. And so I made a conscious decision to not. And after this, one thing led to another. I ended up with a record deal and a Music Row, a bass label out of Nashville, and they helped me get this single together, and we're putting it out, and I'm working on recording an album as we speak, and can't wait to get it out. But it's like the book says, race ain't always to the swift, and every things come around when they come around for a reason, and sometimes it's hard to appreciate that perspective when we're sitting here looking at the the wrong end of the where we're supposed to be, or not where we feel like we're supposed to be, and I don't know, I just kind of learned to do a little better at rolling with the flow. When I get nudged, I pay attention,
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at with that. But yeah, the song's out. It's called Half Past Never, and I'm proud of it. And it's kind of an upbeat, feel good kind of country song that deals with heartbreak and learning from it and coming out a better person on the other side. That's how I like to look at it. That's my intention when with the song. And that chart you're talking about, there's different. I've learned in the music business as we speak. I don't, I've been, like I say, playing music and singing and whatnot my whole life, but it's just more as of recent that I've, tried to really learn the business of music and try to navigate things. And there's different tiers of charts. There's, the Billboard Top 100 country charts, and there's breakout charts. There's New Music Weekly charts, and there's all kind of charts. And so what they mean or what they do, I don't know. I just I put it out there. If somebody likes it well enough to end up on some of that stuff, well, I'm grateful and I'm happy about it. And if it if all I want to do is just for the music to find its audience. I just want it to have a shot, um, just a fair shake at finding its home. And because I know, everything don't appeal to everybody, and it's just how it is. And I respect that and appreciate that. And it'll resonate with some, and some it won't. And it's for those that get it and that enjoy it, and that brings a smile to their face or make their work day a little shorter or drive a little quicker or whatever. That's who I'm making the songs for. And so, or to get on that chart is wonderful. And I hadn't looked in the last couple of weeks, see where it's even at, but it's hovering around the 30s on that. And that's on the New Music Weekly chart, which is based off of spins at country radio. So that's I'm honored. And I don't, I'm as humble as can be. And so, but I'm also, I'll own it, whether it's good or bad or evil, ugly or whatever. It's mine. So.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about, if you're able to, about the new album that you got that's coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm still in the process of getting recording, most of it. Got a bunch of stuff it's already done in the can and ready to go, but just been, this last year I've been writing like my rear end's on fire, my head's catching, just trying to just really um, just been inspired to write a lot of music and write a lot of lyrics and write a lot of country songs. And um, I don't I don't know how or why, but that's what it is. And so I've been working on those, and then it becomes like, well, I like this song 6 months ago. I loved it, but you don't hit me the same way it did then, and so um, I guess what I'm getting at is I'm getting material together. It'll be a full length album, and should be out next year, 2026, and hopefully get another single or something out before then too. Everybody that's tired of spinning the same old songs.
Yeah, I just listened to that Half Past Never pretty recently, actually. I think it was either a day or two ago it come on.
Yeah.
And, to me right now, it don't get old hearing it, especially when I got my stuff on shuffle play and, it'll come on when it comes on. And, I never seems to fail to make me enjoy it.
Good.
Possibly a little more each time I hear it. What did you say at the end of
I'll put the thing on silent.
yeah, put the thing on silent.
Yeah, these daggone phones, it's like we're married to them. And with my work history and things, I've been married to one a long time. And it brings me joy just to lay that sucker down and not have to worry about it for a weekend or whatever.
Yeah, it can be a little too much sometimes.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, so that's the first track that will be on this album. And um, I don't know, I've got some other things that just kind of getting ironed out. I just finished writing some, as recent as a week ago. Was out and did some co-writes in Nashville. So.
Okay. And I understand that I don't know if it's just advertisement purposes, but you are doing music videos for your songs, or
Yeah, I did one for that one. And it's you know, I don't know. I've always enjoyed performing live performance and that type of thing, and um, it's probably my favorite part of live, music is making it. And but yeah, that video I did it, and it's a little different. It's a little different for a fella like me, to have to get there and on a set and they put powder on your nose and stuff like that, and lights and all that, some fog machines and that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is. I like music videos. I loved them back in the '90s and when they was real popular, and CMT and TNN would play that stuff, and so I like them. I like the videos, but you know, for now I just got this one out for now.
There you go. So I take it you had pretty good amount of fun recording that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So recording process a little bit different out around in the Nashville studios and things, and what I was used to and had been through, and I was glad that we didn't track the vocals live because my my jaw was I had to pick it up off the floor every time I took a step. I just I guess overwhelmed. It's when you see a dream like that come true, that you're tracking music out there, it's like something you've thought about every day of your life in some capacity or some regard. It's a little bit it takes a second to soak it in, or did for me.
Yes, sir. So, Dustin,
Yeah,
in the next year or so, where do you see yourself? Like, what is your next goal for the next year?
that's a good question. And you know in terms of goals and things like that, I think they're super important, but I'm not going to I'm not going to I'm not going to sell myself short if I aim at the moon and or aim at the stars and miss the moon, anything like that. But I'm just going to keep working hard and trying to, spread my sound around, and do a lot of live streams and things on some of the streaming platforms. And we'll keep after that. I play some gigs when I can. Did a songwriter round in Nashville at the Commodore last week when I was out there. I got one coming up tomorrow here in the Front Range. I just I play, I don't know, when I can, 2 or 3 times a month, and till I can get, till I can get some, different dates and different locales. I'm doing a lot of showcases and things such as that right now. Trying to take my music to other places around the U.S. and who knows, abroad maybe someday. But there's a lot of folks over there, according to the Spotify, that spin those songs like that over in Europe, especially. So, in terms of the goals, I'm just going to keep on. I'm going to keep on reaching up, and flapping my arms and uh, tooth, fang, and claw. Man, I'm just going to keep on. I'm just going to keep after it. I ain't got a lot of quit in me when I get set set on the right track. So I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, but I think it's both.
Right. Which my next question following that one will be like, where do you see, Dustin, or how do you want people to see Dustin Devine in 10 years? What is your main goal for 10 years down the road?
Well, I'll tell you, I hope I'm still playing music. I'll tell you that much. That's something that something I've always done, something I intend to always do. And in terms of a 10-year goal, I don't know. I'd like to someday go into Walmart and put anything I need in my buggy, and so maybe something that I want, and I'll have to add it up before I get up to the checkout register. You know, um, I just want a happy family and a healthy family, and I just want to keep chasing my dream, passion, my whatever you want to call it, this fire inside of me for these songs. I just want to keep writing music and put them out and have them resonate with whomever they do, and uh, and make those people's day a little brighter, or whatever it needs, whatever the music can do.
Yes. It's, I'll let you in on my little 10-year goal.
Yeah, please do. Yeah,
So
nothing. I'll talk your ear off.
So this podcast, to me, I enjoy doing it. I love it. I love getting to meet new people. I've never met a stranger my whole life. Never. Uh, I love hearing new music. I love hearing new artists. Something different every time is what I enjoy mainly. And my 10-year goal is to be big enough in the music industry with my name. I can set out and achieve my main goal, which is to become my own record label. That's what I got my sights set on, and that's what I'm going after. Is to become.
Yeah, man, hats off to you. And I think it's great. And I think you got a good, a good start on it. And, you know, keep you, keep your antennas up and, see with more than your eyes and listen with more than your ears. And you'd be surprised, I think. I'm not like I'm some, wise old man or anything like that. I'm still trying to figure it out, but, I like to hear folks with goals like that and go for it, man. It's we get one trip around this thing, and I say I say go for the gusto, man. You gonna be a bear, be a grizzly.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. That's kind of why I'm, shooting shots for, upcoming artists. These underdogs. That's what I
Yeah.
call them, underdogs.
I hope your predictions are right.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Which, I've come across some ones that I think's gonna make it, and I like to give everybody a chance. The ones that people don't want to give a chance is the ones I'm, chasing after because those are most times the ones that people miss out on, in my opinion.
I hear you. It's tough. It's hard to stick your head up above the crowd, and when you're 5'10", it's really hard.
Yeah.
I meant that figuratively, but it's just there's a lot of folks out here, and uh, it's more than they say 100,000 songs are uploaded to Spotify a day. Um, and who knows, the podcast thing is caught on like wildfire, and it's growing and growing, and a rising tide, raises all ships. So the bar just gets that much higher, and you just gotta do quality content, and um, do the best you can do at any given time, and if your heart's in it, you ain't gonna quit. That's how I think about it. It's like somebody asked me, a young aspiring guitar player or something, and say, well, how do you, it's just like, well, it's easy. Don't quit. You just don't quit.
Right.
And really, if you quit, anything like that, that's you're pouring your lifeblood into, if you're sticking it out for the right reasons, and that it's what you truly, love in this life, and it's what makes you the happiest, then you ain't going to quit. Because why would you, right?
Right. I mean, I'm making progress. If I would have quit, you know, 2 months ago, I'd have probably maybe a whole day's worth of, unread emails that I've sent out or, you know, shot down.
Yeah.
I'd save all that heartache because there's no telling how many emails that I've been shot down through. No,
Yeah.
we're not interested, or just not even answering me.
Oh, yeah. Not even answering. I'm going to say, if I say no, that's at least something,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least
At least tell me no.
something.
Tell me something.
Yeah, I hear you. Thick skin's important in a lot of this kind of stuff, I guess. And if you want something, the thick skin comes natural, as a byproduct of really wanting to aspire to get to achieve something, that you're going to do anyways. That's how I look at it.
Right. I've got an eye, I've noticed, for the artist that's not following the crowd.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people, for instance, a lot of people want to sing like Zach Bryan. Zach Bryan first came out, and he was, in my opinion, he had his own sound. he was raspy and stuff like that. And now everybody's trying to be raspy and sing like that. You know, everybody's trying to go with the grain. I look for these guys that's, you know, making their own path, that's standing out to me. So I know they're going to stand out to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, that's good. I mean, it's like, I mean, there's already been a George Jones. There's
yeah,
already been a Merle Haggard. There's already been a Zach Bryan.
yeah,
Uh, that's yeah. I never aspired to sound like anybody. A lot of that comes second nature from listening to music and being influenced by different. I relate this to singing, but singer styles and things like that, and sounding like what you listen to, and to me personally, I've always felt like weird sound is kind of I don't know, the word amalgam comes together or to mind, or it's kind of a compilation of everything that's ever influenced you in any way. And it's all kind of piled into this one thing, and you get you get this from here and that from there, and this the way that this guy controls his his breath on these longer notes and these passages that from here, and you hear different singers when they take a breath or something to this effect, and you're influenced by all that. But when you take in as much and let it come out as you, that's what that's what that's where you end up with what you're describing, I think, right? The uniqueness.
yes, sir. The uniqueness is what I'm trying to describe there. But I also look at it as sometimes being like a double edged sword, you know, because there can only be one George Jones, there can only be one Jerry Reed, for instance. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, what's going to save country music is a lot more George Joneses and a lot more Jerry Reeds and Chris Christophersons and
Mhm.
so on and so more Vern Gosdins.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's what's going to save today's country and age. And I think it's going to be a little while before we get that.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
guess that would be a double edged sword on
oh
that.
yeah, and it seems like with Lainey Wilson's success and Zach Top and artists like that,
Yes, sir.
uh, that maybe the what they call the pendulum is actually come over here, and it's getting ready to head back to more traditional type sounds. I don't know. If it does, it would be good for old troubadours like myself, I guess. I don't know, but I don't know. I've always stayed true to this. That's the only sounds I like, to
Yeah.
be frank about it. So,
But I'll tell you what, in my opinion, it's going to be a big speed bump in the road and it's going to possibly mess up a couple of things. And that's artificial intelligence songwriting.
yeah, I tell you,
Man, I can't stand it.
yeah, it's tough, tough, tough pill there. Yeah, I just saw something the other day. Said it had an AI song that had charted, and it was showing it. This is on a clip or something I watched on YouTube, and said that as what was the guy's name, like Rusty I was like, I can't even remember. But anyhow, supposed to had this song charted on, and it was showed up as a verified artist on Spotify, and it was AI generated and sang, and I don't know. I mean, that's a slippery, slippery slope right there to be hanging out close to the edge of, in my opinion. But um, I don't know. We got to figure out how to get that stuff harnessed, and it's fine if that's people want to create that, but it ought to be somehow labeled and classified as such, and you know, it, it,
It's own category, its own genre.
yeah,
My opinion.
yeah, somewhere yeah. But yeah, it blows my mind to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I know what video you're talking about. I believe it popped up on my TikTok, and I believe it mentioned something like it was the most listened to song
Yeah,
of the month or whatever it was. And it just disgusted me is what it did.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, no, I hear you. And,
no way to go around it. It did.
and where do you draw a line on something like that? It's like with this, this Randy Travis music that's come out, and it's like, well, and I'm not here to argue one way or another. I don't have a horse in that race, but that's easing over here and pretty soon it's just a slippery slope is what my granddad would have said. And I couldn't disagree with him. So I don't know where you draw the line at or how you draw the line or what it becomes of it. But yeah, it's a it's a different thing. It's not necessarily what I would call it an art form any longer when a computer does all the heavy thinking.
Yes, sir. What was that? Because it all kind of started originating around that Randy Travis song that come out. What was that song called? It's been probably about maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't, I can't name it either off the top of my head, but I know what you're talking about.
Was it? It wouldn't have been Fool's Love Affair, would it?
I might have been. I don't think so. It was more of a. Uh, Give me a second. It's kind
I
of
don't have my computer in here. I'd be
title of it
looking
was.
it up right now.
Yeah, I can't call it either. It was something like. I don't think it was more. It wasn't like a love song, if it comes to mind. But anyhow, I don't want to talk out of school, but I can't remember. But yeah, it's just like, what are we going to do?
I'll get it popped up right here.
Yeah,
Here it is. Is this one?
yeah, right.
But,
But
man,
yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what's your thoughts. I mean, it's like you just have to characterize it, brand it somehow as what it is,
yeah,
and let people appreciate it for what it is. And if people want to listen to that, then and that makes them happy, then good. I just don't like it. It ain't fair to either craft to characterize them in the same to put them in the same whatever classification in terms of a piece of art or a piece of artificial intelligence. I don't even know. My moniker's not it's pretty rusty with all that stuff. I don't know how you characterize it, but
yeah.
it shouldn't be.
So I agree with what you're saying by putting it in its own category and its own genre. Because, in my opinion, it don't belong in the country genre.
Yeah. Well, maybe it belongs in its own, you know, uh, in its own classification, really, artificially generated music, if that's what they call it. I mean,
That's what I'm calling
yeah, I don't know. It's way above my pay grade in terms of,
it.
but that's what I say. I mean, if it's a product of our times and people will get seeking, enjoyment from it and it makes them happy to hear that stuff, well, that's okay. I just don't like it. I don't think it ought to, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't get into deep in the woods, but it's kind of like all these things with professional athletics and gender and things. It's like, well, you can't this and that. It's like, well, now we have these categories for a reason, and because it keeps the playing field level as possible, and putting AI into, what what people have been doing since the beginning of time is creating songs, with emotion and melody and poems set to sounds. It's just not the same. Comparing apples and cinder blocks. You know.
So going back to your recording session, you know, you went out to Nashville and you did that, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How'd you like Nashville? Was that like one of your first times being out there, or
Oh no, I've been out there off and on I'm out there probably about every month or so. Just depends on kind of what's going on, but so now I'm out there twice, two times in a month, but just back and forth, and that's where my record company is based out of, and so I'm out there. You know, I do a lot of co-writes out there, um, recording footage for social media, and do some songwriter rounds and different kind of things. And um, so I'm out there, pretty regular, I guess, about monthly or so, and then I'm back home here trying to pay my bills. Back home here in the Front Range is where I live now, and so I'm back and forth out there. But yeah, that's the first time you go out there to track music or record is a little bit, you know, according to what I was used to, which is more of a smaller studio setting, and they're all different, I suppose, but it's a little bit intimidating the first time you set foot in there with your, one of your own songs, and it's just I don't know, I look at it as uh, an opportunity for growth, just to to get my music to a different level, just to try to try to do it at the best as I can, so that, and I'm really pleased and humbled at the chances to get to do that, and I hope I never have to stop.
so? Since we're on the subject of Nashville, uh, do you have anything on your books for when the next time you're gonna be up there is?
I'll be out there just doing some recording, probably middle of next month, and but in terms of playing out or anything like that, I don't have anything situated at the moment. Um, Last time I was out there, I ended up doing a songwriter round at the Commodore. They had a I went out there to listen is what I did, and get some dinner, and got to listen, and chatted with the guy that's running the thing there, and it says, hey, what do I got to do to submit some songs, or get, and he said, well, you got a guitar with you? And I said, no, I don't. I said, I'd probably find one I can borrow. He said, well, I got an opening in here tonight. I said, okay, well, so I went back and found me a fast friend, and he was gracious enough to loan me his guitar, so I played the songwriter around over there. And I got a little old gig coming up tomorrow night here in Colorado. So it's just wherever I'm at, I just try to make the best of it, and I'm back and forth out there quite a bit, working on this album.
'Cause I'm supposed to actually. What I was getting at with that is I'm supposed to be going up there again. I just went up there not last weekend, maybe either the week before last or before that. But I'm supposed to be going back up there. I think either the weekend of the 6th or the following weekend. I'm supposed to go up there and meet up with a guy named Bodacious. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Now I come across some of my live stream the other day. Somebody said something about it, and I thought the reason I remember I thought they was talking about the bucking bull, bodacious. It it's one of the all-time great rodeo bulls. That's the only time I'd heard of bodacious, but that turned me on to it, and I keep my ear out for it. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be, if it's a second, I might come near being around out there on the second weekend rather than the first. But I'm not sure on the dates, and I'm also not sure exactly when I'm going to be recording or whatnot. But if I could find some way to play out there while I'm there, I definitely will.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to come and sit and listen.
Love to have you, man.
Thank you. Now, the thing is, whenever I was up there last time, they didn't have no chicken wire or any chains hanging, so I might throw a couple bottles at you if that's all right.
Well, I've been there and done that. I've seen few of them in my time, but yeah, it's people a little more civilized up there that way, most generally. They're definitely kind people, you know. You get in the South and you forget that you know, it's refreshing sometimes, and just how everybody's kind of partial to where they grew up and how they're raised, and I feel at home in those parts of the world.
Yes, sir. So, what is one of your biggest memories from one of your shows? What is something that happened during one of your shows that you'll never forget? I'm sure you've got some stories.
Well, I'm sure I do too, but just coming, getting them to getting them to come into my consciousness is the other problem sometimes. But I'll tell you one that happened not too far from where I'm sitting right here. Um, about I don't know, this is several years ago now, and there's a little old honky tonk up here in the corner in this small town that I live in, and they just having trouble with their management, and I don't know. You hear all kinds of stories and licenses and this and that. But anyways, we had booked in there to play. I had a little honky tonk band that we played dance halls and whatnot around the front range here for about the last 10. Well, we played for about 10 years. But anyways, we was booked in there on this weekend. I think it was Wednesday, and they said, "Oh no, we're closing down. We're not going to be open. We're canceling We're going to be closed." Oh, okay. Uh, so there goes that. Then they kind of rallied around, and they come back, and about 2 or 3 months passed, and they said, we're back open. We want y'all to come out, and we had a booking out there, and so we said, oh, okay, so you open, or you know, that could change any minute, kind of deal. Anyways, in the interim, I'd been out to Nashville, and I wrote this song with a good songwriter out there named Bill DeLuigi. And anyhow, we finished this thing up, and the whole impetus was I kind of had that on my mind about this place closing down, and thinking, man, what's gonna become of this place? You know, this has been an institution here in this little one horse town for a long time, and now it's going to be, you know, the future is uncertain. And anyways, Bill showed up and he says, man, I'm sorry I'm late. And I looked at my watch or clock, my phone, and I said, it's like 2 minutes after the time he's supposed to be. And I said, well, you're not late. And he goes, well, I'm normally, you know, if I'm usually early. I said, well, I understand. It's no big deal. He said, the construction out here is so bad. They're tearing this down over here and across town over there, and they've got roadblocks up, and you got to take this other route around. And I'm just like, wow. And so between that story and me having this this honky tonk closing, it was like, oh man, let's see, my something went wrong. Been on here too long. Now, something on my is my. Can you see me?
No, sir. If you tap your screen, it's in the bottom corner. It might be that stop video button.
Yeah. Let me see what happened over here. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Is it now?
There you
Good.
are.
Okay, good. So anyhow, I don't want to get this deep into the story and not finish it, but so I'll tell you all this to tell you this. So we got back in there, and I had this new song, and it, you know, that place closing had so much to do with this, with the title and with the whole content of the song. And I thought, man, this is probably the last time I'm gonna play this room, because its writing's on the wall. It ain't gonna be around for much longer. And anyhow, I started into this song and I got to playing into it. And I got about halfway through the second verse and I started welling up and my eyes, no time for this. Shake it off, get on with this, And I'm tearing into this song and I get into the chorus and and I got my composure about me. I look out there and there's like three grown men with their phones up, videoing this, and one of them is hunkered over, and they're fixing to pick him up off the floor because he's bawling squalling like a toddler that was thrown down there that you took a sucker away from him or something. And I thought, I'll be damned. That's the power. That's the power of music right there. And if that ain't a story about a song and a gig, I don't know what is.
Absolutely. Speaking of songs, man, if I see you got a trusty Dusty sitting next to you, man, if you feel like playing with him, singing with him.
Number one. I call that guitar that I play a lot of see my videos and whatnot, and it's all beat up, scratched up, and it's I call it number one, but this is a real number one. This is the first guitar that I ever built, I guess. If you call it build, it came out of a kit from an old place called Luthier's Mercantile International. They sold wood and put this thing together. And after I did, all I want to do is make another one. So.
All right.
Song? How about that one I just talked about? All right. This is called Where the Honky Tonk Was. My first taste of good whiskey, first parking lot fight, I nursed a bad breakup where I met my wife. My first paying gig, last beer with Granddad. Now all that's left, the memories we have. It's a big old space, that corner across town that they're putting up is tearing me down. There won't be no more neon, a jukebox to lean on. It feels like the final last call. I swear there's a hole in my heart where the honky tonk was. Yeah, they took all them dollar bills down off the walls. They're hauling off my memories, smoke stains and all. Now some call it progress, I call it greed. Like one more high rise is something we need. That big old space, that corner across town, they're putting up, it's tearing me down. It won't be no more neon, a jukebox to lean on. It feels like the final last call. I swear there's a hole in my heart where the honky tonk was. Now come 5 o'clock Fridays, where will we go to find us a dance floor with sawdust and soul? There's a big old space, that corner across town, that they're putting up is tearing me down. There won't be no more neon, a jukebox to lean on. It feels like the final last call. I swear there's a hole in my heart where the honky-tonk was. Oh, a big old hole in my heart where the honky-tonk was.
Man, that was great.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope that come out okay and
Yeah, perfect on my end.
and clip or nothing too much or anything like that. But yeah, so that's it's one of them kind of songs.
Yeah, I liked it. And
Thank you.
I see what you were talking about by the power of music whenever you were talking about those guys crying and stuff. But yeah, I guess that could be a real tearjerker to some of them.
Was, they was thinking back and not necessarily where they played their first gig or they didn't have to get in a fight in the parking lot, or they might not have met their wife there, but they got a lot of memories there and them kind of things, stir that stuff up and get it to jogging, and then pretty soon, it's but I don't know. I've always had an affinity for songs that I like one that twists your ear real good, but I also like one that twists you right down somewhere deep inside of you that you can't explain. And I don't know. That's kind of songs I try to write. Ones that mean something to folks that universally human type of emotions. I guess I don't know.
Well, man, before we jump off of here, before I say if you want to sing one more song for me.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do another one there, Skylar. What? I don't want to do another slow one.
I was going to say if you was in the mood for Half Past Never, but
You betcha.
It's up to you, man. But one more question for you before we jump off here.
Sure.
If there's any advice that you could give to somebody that's basically in the same position that you are in, with the upcoming singing and stuff like that, what's something that you could relay over to them to kind of help them out?
Well, I say two things: be true to yourself and don't quit. And if you're doing them two things, you're probably on the right path. All right. It's a little Half Past Never. Well, you walked out and left my heart pieces on the floor. I climbed inside a bottle, I moved in at that bar. Now a friend of a friend told me you want me to take you back. Baby, here's my answer to that. Half past never, it's a good time to call. Let's not get together, girl, we'll have a ball. And these days I'm busy, you're doing nothing at all. And half past never, a good time to call. I go fishing when I want to, stay out all night long. Nobody's at home bitching, no, and I don't mow the lawn. I'm saving lots of money, I'm making lots of friends. Now here's when you can come back home again. Half past never, it's a good time to call. Let's not get together, girl, we'll have a ball. And these days I'm busy, you're doing nothing at all. And half past never, a good time to call. And we stop paying taxes, the moon decides to fall. Meet up down in nowhere. Baby, just give me a call. Half past never. It's a good time to call. Let's not get together, girl. We'll have a ball. And these days I'm busy. You're doing nothing at all. Half past never. A good time to call. Half past never. Great time to call. Gotta put that thing on silent. Oh man, oh, thing wasn't clipping.
Never get old to me.
Well, you got a different version in here now.
There you go. A little bit of acoustic.
Unleaded for you, right?
Well, Dustin, man, I really appreciate you giving me the time tonight and coming out.
You betcha. I appreciate the chance to share some airspace with you, and what you're doing resonates with me, and I got a great deal of respect for you for doing that, and I just appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. To all the viewers and listeners, thank y'all for, making this happen. If y'all have any dogs or cats around Frankstown, I know a veterinarian. He might be on the other end of the screen right now, but
I'll tell you to call one.
well, all right, Dustin, man, thank you for coming out, and to everybody else that's watching and listening, thank y'all. If y'all look in the description, you can find all the links to Dustin's albums or singles and all of his social media platforms.
Good deal. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sir, thank you.